So for any of you who have spent some time in New York, as I'm assuming and hoping you all have, you'll understand that apples are a core part of New York State's identity, culture, and economy. We call New York City the Big Apple. Apples are New York's state fruit. And New York is also the second largest producer of apples behind Washington State. A disruption of this industry could be detrimental to New York. Climate change could be this disruption, and not just for apples, but for agriculture at large. Climate change is a huge threat to agriculture because of the industry's reliance on weather and natural resources. So for my thesis, I asked, how do New York apple growers view climate change, and how are they adapting to the challenges it presents? To answer this question, I conducted 7 semi-structured interviews with small apple orchard growers throughout central New York. I would like to say that because of the biases associated with climate change, I did not bring the topic up until the end of our conversations, or unless they naturally brought it up. During my conversations, I found 3 main findings. The first is that our weather is changing. Every single farmer I talked to noticed that the weather in New York today is not what it was like 20 or so years ago. Extreme events like hail, drought, and large amounts of rain are happening more frequently, and farmers are also noticing that earlier spring weather is occurring, as well as late cold frosts that destroy the crop. My second finding is that farmers' perceptions of climate change vary across the board. When I brought the topic up, I received responses like, I don't believe in climate change. I'm skeptical about half of it, and I'm really concerned. Truthfully, every single farmer I talked to had a different response. This then brings me to my third finding, which is that they're adapting. Farmers are adapting to climate change because they have to in order to survive. Whether this is through crop diversification, planting more resilient species, or changing their business models, they know that they have to in order to survive. So what does this all tell us? Essentially, my conclusion is that skepticism and denial doesn't necessarily mean inaction, as well as the fact that climate change really reinforced the idea that climate change is a political concept. Despite my farmers' large different varieties of ideas around climate change, they all saw that weather is changing, and they all saw that they're all adapting naturally because they have to. So this then brings around the question that, does it matter that climate change is politicized? And yeah, it kind of does, actually. When we're talking about climate change or when we're talking about the future of our environments to farmers, or really anyone for that matter, we can't always lead with the concept of climate change because it's not always relatable. Instead, we need to provide information that's personalized and important to the person that describes how to take care of the environments they care about. Only then will effective climate adaptation occur. Thank you so much.